Bill Maher schools Jane Fonda about racism on the Club Random podcast. I saw this and I knew how to cover it. Let's see how this goes down.
You're so different than me that it's hard for me sometimes to even understand what you're talking about.
Really? So we must have a lot in common.
I don't think we do.
Really?
No.
Why?
Except that tequila's really good.
Why? What do you think is so different about me?
Just your worldview is so totally different than mine. I don't see people the same way.
You think I'm a cynic?
I think you're very cynical. I know. Yeah.
But don't you think the world makes you cynical?
I don't know. I'm not cynical. And I've been around longer than you.
Yeah.
A good 20 years more. You could be my son. I'd put you over my knees and spank you. You'd probably like that.
No, I think I'm very normal. I think I'm very normal, and I love when I grew up. You know, I think it was like a very normal time.
If you were white, yeah.
Yes, if you were white,
Yeah.
absolutely. Glad we said that. I mean, you know, I can't help that, nor could you, when we were born and how we were, you know. I mean, I think
The color of our skins.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with race, always feel, is like you and I personally didn't do it, but our race did it,
And continues.
and we benefited from it.
And still do, yeah.
Yeah, but less than before. I feel one problem liberals have is they don't feel like they can acknowledge progress because it somehow makes them less good. They just have to always, there's more work to be done, and there always is more work to be done. We're humans on Earth. There always will be. But
no,
it's called white guilt. A lot of white people feel this white guilt that they just can't shred and get rid of. They feel guilty because, well, they're white, and supposedly they have all these privileges because they were white and stuff, which, you know, as they're kind of discussing, you know, maybe when Bill Maher was young, maybe that was the case. But however, it's clearly a different time. So I don't know. It's still kind of ridiculous to keep having this conversation over and over. It's like, when can we just be done with it? What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. Subscribe if you like content like this. Let's continue.
but it's pretty serious for people of color.
what is?
The ability to live a middle-class life, the ability to accumulate wealth, the ability to own a home, you know, they are prevented from doing those things by laws that remain in place, like redlining and mortgage issues and so forth.
That remain in place?
Mhm.
Redlining?
Mortgage issues, they can't get the same
It's not
loans and mortgages that we do, white people do.
It's not against the law to discriminate for a business to hand out?
I guess there must be some laws, but they're not, I don't know. They're still discriminated against. I don't know about the laws.
Oh my gosh. Jane Fonda is absolutely bonkers. She goes on to say, oh yeah, there's still laws that discriminate, redlining and stuff. And then he goes, wait, what? He pushes on her and then she's like, well, I don't know the laws. Well, then what the heck are you talking about then? Why are you talking about like there's still racism today? Absolutely bonkers Jane Fonda is.
It still happens. It's very hard for black people.
Well, racism still is with us.
Mm-hmm.
The question I think we're asking is it institutional? I mean, you can never...
It's institutional in terms of wealth accumulation. It's very hard for people of color to accumulate wealth the way we can.
Definitely the biggest factor when you look at discrepancy is family wealth. It's crazy. Like the average net worth.
Mm-hmm.
This obviously is a legacy of our despicable history. I mean, for the longest time, black folks couldn't own anything.
Do you consider it very radical?
But the question then is, how do you address that?
Well, you try to organize in the mortgage banking community. I just spoke to a conference of mortgage bankers. That's one way.
Well,
we have to change the laws, change the regulations.
Well, I must admit, this one is not one that's on my radar. I didn't know that. I certainly was aware that, for different reasons, I thought black folks sometimes did have a harder time just getting a mortgage, getting a loan. That's just individual racism that people have. These people just have stereotypes, but I feel like we passed the laws that you mean like this is not covered in any statute right up until 2024 that a mortgage company can do that? I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
asking.
think that redlining is legal anymore, but there are other ways that the banking system and the real estate system keeps people of color out of communities, nice homes, the ability to, home ownership is the beginning of wealth
Yes,
accumulation. It's
right,
something that everybody should be able to
right.
do.
Yeah, I mean it's a difficult problem because there's so much accumulated from centuries of having a monopoly on it, white wealth, and parents tend to give their money when they die to their kids.
Yeah.
That's why we have so many fucking nepo babies.
Yeah.
And people, I mean, this town is just, if you go out at night,
No.
no, no, but if you ever went to like a hot spot, first of all, they would lionize you. It's interesting, like girls in their 20s, they don't know a lot of celebrities. They all know you. They all idolize.
Because I've been arrested a lot.
You've been
And I've
arrested.
spoken my mind.
Yeah, you stayed relevant, and I mean, that's to get that generation to go from your own generation down to that generation. That's not a lot of something a lot of people can claim.
All right, well, that was something. So I'm sitting here and I'm watching this, and she goes, well, it's the laws. And then he goes, well, what laws? And she goes, well, I don't know the laws. And then they talk a little bit more, and then later on she goes, well, that's why we got to change the laws. It's like, but what laws? And so then she says, well, redlining, redlining, they don't do that no more, but they still figure out ways around it. Well, that's not systemic racism then. And also, too, what's the proof, though? Where's the proof? A lot of times, like in the modern day with like a lot of the issues with racism and stuff, a lot of times they just look at the skin color and just assume it's racism. So, for instance, a cop, shoots a black person or something. Oh, well, look at the skin color. Oh, the cop was white. Oh, the person was black. Well, it had to have been racism. That's it. We solved it. Like, could be no other reason. And then a lot of times these videos that they show, like where the incidents happen, it's like the black person was like about to do something harmful, and so they get shot, but they still, and it's just like, maybe it's not the racism. Maybe it's because that black person was going to stab this person or shoot this person or do something. And that's why they got shot by the cop. Maybe it's not racism. But they'll still try to find ways to explain that it's racism, even if it's not a white cop that does it. If it's another minority cop that does it, if the victim is black, or if the person that gets shot is black, oh, well, it's because of racism. It's almost as if it has nothing to do with, is it racism or is it not? And it's just this oppressive, critical race theory, DEI, whatever woke lens that people are just viewing it nowadays, where you just look at black people as nothing but victims. And Jane Fonda over here still has that same view, just, oh, black must be a victim of some sort. Oh, black must be, had a hard life or something like that. Like, like they'll say, like, for instance, it used to be racist if you would say, oh, something like, oh, well, black people all look alike, right? That's racist, right? Yeah, racist. I agree, racist. But then they started to say it as well. Like, they would be like, oh, man, I can't enjoy this movie unless there's someone that looks like me on the screen. And they'll say that term. Or cops are shooting people that look like me. And it's like, what do you mean look like you? They're the same race as you? That's it? I thought it was racist to say that people of a certain race looked alike. But now you're just saying it. It's like, make it make sense. I don't know. Jane Fonda is just another one of these old, out of touch celebrities that have never. I mean, listen, wasn't she married to Ted Turner? I don't know if she still is or not, but I know she was married to Ted Turner. Ted Turner, obviously, I think, I don't know if he's a millionaire or billionaire, but really rich guy. You see, she's been pampered and she's been sheltered away from the real world for a long time. So, yeah, it's like when Bill Maher had William Shatner here. It's just like another old timer celebrity, out of touch about what's going on in the real world. And I think that's where Jane Fonda is at in this video. What do you guys think about it, though?